This morning, we're going to take a second look at Caleb Williams and the future of quarterbacking at USC. The Clippers finally win since the James Harden trade. Clearly, that's Russell Westbrook's fault. And we will also take a look at the Clippers and the Lakers, where they stand in the NBA in-season cash grab. Tournament. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is November 18th, 2023. I am back in Salt Lake City for work. And for those of you who are new to the channel, because we did add a new subscriber to the Angeleno Familia yesterday, and I thank you for doing that. This is the channel that I do when I'm on the road. It keeps me out of the strip clubs. I don't want to be in a strip club. I'm too old for the strip club. I'd rather talk sports and keep myself sane that way. So if you like being in the know about LA sports, quickly clack the like button. Quickly clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment because it is for the greater good. And I like reaching out back to you guys. So before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. LeBron James scored 35 points to lead the Lakers to a 107-95 victory up in Portland in the in-season NBA cash grab. Meanwhile, in same tournaments, the Clippers finally got a victory with James Harden on the roster, 104-100 over Houston. Kawhi Leonard scored 26 points. Harden hit a key three-pointer toward the end of the game to seal the victory. Today, the battle for the victory bell. UCLA is at USC. The game takes place at 12:30. Late breaking story. Ethan Garbers will start at quarterback for UCLA, which frankly, it gives them a fighting chance. Absolutely. And St. Louis is at the Kings at 7:30 tonight. The Kings are looking for back-to-back home wins for the first time this season. But I want to start off by addressing USC's quarterback situation. Because in yesterday's clip, I have to be honest with you guys, I was hustling to get to the airport so I can get to work. And as such, I didn't really have much opportunity to consider what the future of USC quarterbacking is if Caleb Williams isn't on the roster. He could go out for the NFL draft this year, or he could stay for that final year. So what happens if he goes? Now, I like the phrase, think a second time, because it keeps you from doing hot takes. You know, that's a phrase popularized by radio host Dennis Prager. And I'm not trying to talk politics, but I think thinking things through one more time is helpful. So we did speak quite a bit about Caleb Williams yesterday. I neglected to make one point about why Caleb Williams should stay, at the very least for the bowl game. Now, I'm not saying he will. I'm saying it's probably a good idea. Caleb Williams has only faced one quality defense this year. One. And that was Notre Dame. And look at what happened. So this idea that you hear from the punditry, from the punderati, if you will, your hot take spewers on ESPN and Fox Sports 1, all trying to out Skip Bayless, or God knows what. Caleb Williams does have something to prove. He does. He has to prove what he can do against a quality defense. Now, UCLA absolutely has a quality defense, but that would mean he's only played against two. What if he stinks today against UCLA? It is possible. UCLA gets to the quarterback. He is no longer the undisputed number one choice in NFL draft circles. He's not. He could still very well be the number one. But it would very much behoove him to show NFL scouts that he doesn't just put up amazing numbers against meh opponents. So the idea of him playing not only against UCLA, but against another good defensive team, or for that matter, maybe if he decides to come back and play for a senior year, probably very helpful. Probably very helpful. Now, also because Williams might be leaving for the bowl game, I randomly threw out the name Miller Moss to play for USC in that game. And off the top of your head, you're like, yeah, why not? He is literally number 2 on the depth chart. He is next man up, right? But then I had to think a second time. What if I'm wrong, right? Because I could very well be wrong. Here's why. Take a look at the quarterbacks that Lincoln Riley has mentored through the course of his career. The ones who are successful: Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and obviously Caleb Williams. What do they all have in common? They're double threats. They're mobile. Miller Moss does not really strike anybody as a mobile quarterback. We simply haven't seen him enough. He looks to me like a traditional pocket passer. That the few steps back, let the pocket hold around you, pick a target, let it rip. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Not at all. But is it a bad fit for USC? I don't know if I've ever seen a traditional pocket passer in the air raid offense. I've always seen scrambling quarterbacks in the air raid. Can Lincoln Riley work with Miller Moss? Is it a fit? And by the way, this isn't just about the Trojans bowl game. Moss isn't a senior. He has to come back. He doesn't have a resume that's NFL worthy. So you would be theoretically asking the Trojans to go to the Big Ten next year and also play Notre Dame and LSU in non-conference play with either Miller Moss or Malachi Nelson as your quarterback. That is a hell of a question to answer. So it's not just defensive coordinator. That's a question that has to be on Riley's mind. You let me know what you think in the comments thread. I realize Lakers fans hate Russell Westbrook with the white-hot intensity of 1,000 supernovas. I'm not one of them. Because I think you should hate an athlete if they're detrimental to the team, if they're not even trying. I absolutely believe that Russell Westbrook gave it his best shot. It was just a bad fit. We talked about bad fits earlier, right? With whether or not Miller Moss is a good fit for the air raid. Russell Westbrook simply was a bad fit for the Lakes. So he goes to the Clippers last year, and he's great until James Harden comes along. So James Harden, the Clippers start out 0-5 with him on the court. And they don't bench James Harden, they bench Russell Westbrook. Amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing. Russell Westbrook, and I realize he's polarizing, has been nothing short of a good soldier for the Clippers. And his reward is a ticket to the bench. You could almost imagine Clippers coach Tyronn Lue texting Darvin Ham going, so how did you break it to him? You know? Terrence Mann replaced Westbrook in the starting lineup. And it's not that I have a problem with Mann. It's that adding Harden to the roster a few weeks ago didn't solve a problem. It created problems. It created them. James Harden called himself the system. He really should be calling himself sand in the gas tank. They finally got a win. They finally got their win. Now, meanwhile, like we were talking about, that's in the in-season cash grab. That James Harden shot toward the end of the game did, in fact, keep the Clippers from getting eliminated. So there is a plus there, albeit a minor plus, I should say. To advance, the Clippers, though, have to win a lot of tiebreakers because there's only one, maybe two games left in this pool play. Bigger picture for the Clippers. I did see parts of the game, and it seems to be that in order to win with James Harden on the court, you have to surround him with shooters. So in a sense, I understand why Tyronn Lue did it. Russell Westbrook is not a traditional shooter. They basically surrounded him with him, right? And then you have Russell Westbrook leading the second unit. As for the in-season tournament itself, I really haven't been paying attention to it. I know it is a very cynical cash grab on behalf of the NBA front office. Winning the in-season tournament to me is literally like, I don't know, being valedictorian at summer school. Do you really want that on your transcript, right? Because then obviously people are like, wait a second, what the hell were you doing in summer school? What, did you have to learn to read in summer school? Were you illiterate? Is that the point? That to me is going to be the equivalent of the in-season tournament trophy. But the tournament is still a tournament, and somebody's got to win the damn thing. The Lakers are undefeated in it. The Lakers, I don't know if I want to say that they're taking the in-season tournament seriously. They're just having to be a little bit more serious in it than other teams. I didn't even, by the way, to advance to the knockout round, and to be completely honest, I didn't even know there was going to be a knockout round. If the Lakers beat Utah on Tuesday night, they advance to the knockout round. How would you like that banner going up at Crypto.com Arena? The website Turf Show Times has lost its damn mind. Now, this Rams blog, Rams website, fell off the Matthew Stafford bandwagon last year when the Rams fell apart. Which is fine, right? You're entitled to your own opinion. But when you start hyping Carson Wentz as a better option than Matthew Stafford, you need to be put on a 72-hour psych hold, because you are a danger to yourself, the football world, and yes, entire society. You need to be locked up, bro. There is no, quote, this is an actual headline on the Turf Show Times, quote, Rams should start Carson Wentz to protect Matthew Stafford. What kind of booty backward logic is that? The best way to keep Matthew Stafford from getting hurt is to not have him play. Never mind that Carson Wentz has been on 4 teams in 4 years. Why? Because he's never been that good. But this guy has actually been hyping Carson Wentz over Matthew Stafford for the better part of 5 months. Carson Wentz to protect Matthew Stafford. That is literally like saying, let's start Lance Lynn in the NL playoffs to protect Clayton Kershaw. Look what happened then. Look what happened then. I didn't bring, for those of you who've seen this program regularly, normally I have a giant whiteboard behind me during the baseball offseason, and I did not bring it with me to Utah to show the 31 players that the scribes are claiming the Dodgers are allegedly interested in. 31 players. 31 flavors of stupidity, if you will. One of the names that we had on the list was third baseman Matt Chapman, who last played for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's a free agent. But where would he rank in terms of Dodger priorities? Where would he rank in terms of priorities for baseball teams, period? CBSSports.com listed the 5 likely landing spots for Matt Chapman. LA is not on the list. So yeah, maybe that, they're interested in thing might be a little bit premature. By the way, if you're curious where Matt Chapman's best fit is, the team that's most likely, according to CBS Sports, to make a serious play for Matt Chapman, it's San Francisco. USC basketball coach Andy Enfield took responsibility for the Trojans stepping on rake after rake when they lost to UC Irvine the other day. Now, it is true, the Trojans were missing Boogie Ellis with an ankle issue, but I'm going to be real with you. I don't think that's a decent excuse at all, and Enfield knows it, so he didn't say it. Quote, "We deserve to lose this game the way we played. I know the players are very upset. That's on me," unquote. Yeah, okay, I get it. You know what might have helped? You might have reminded them they were losing to a team called the Anteaters. At some point, personal pride has to kick in, right? Especially with a team that was hyped as much as the Trojans basketball team was. I mean, the only more embarrassing loss than losing to a team called the Anteaters, maybe losing to a team called the Strawberry Shortcakes. Sometimes in life, you got to man up, people. You've got to man up. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the future of USC's quarterbacking after today's game. Talk to me about if you believe that Ethan Garbers will be a difference maker in the battle for the victory bell. And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.